Further, Mahamati said, according to the Blessed One, in all things that are variously discriminated by discrimination, there is no self-nature, as it is nothing but the creation of false imagination, or parikalpita. If, Blessed One, it is but the creation of false imagination, and there is nothing in the world which is to be conceived as indicative of self-nature, does it not, Blessed One, come to this, according to your statement, that there is neither defilement nor purification, because all things are of the nature of false imagination? Said the Blessed One, Mahamati, it is just as you say. The self-nature of things is the discrimination of the ignorant and simple-minded, and it is not as it is discriminated by them. Mahamati, it is the creation of false imagination. Nothing indicative of self-nature is to be ascertained. But, Mahamati, there is the self-nature of things such as is ascertained by the wise, by their wise knowledge, by their wise insight, by their wise transcendental vision. Said Mahamati, Blessed One, if there is the self-nature of things such as ascertained by the wise, by their wise knowledge, by their wise insight, by their wise transcendental vision, which is neither human nor celestial vision, and if there is no such self-nature as is discriminated by the ignorant and simple-minded, how, Blessed One, can the ignorant and the simple-minded abandon their discrimination, as they have no way to recognize the presence of an exalted reality? For they are neither perverted nor unperverted, Blessed One. That is, they are what they are. Why? Because they are unable to have an insight into the self-nature of exalted reality, because they see the course of things in the aspect of being and non-being. And, Blessed One, the reality cannot be such as is discriminated even by the wise, because the aspect of reality as it is in itself cannot be an object of discrimination by anybody. Because, Blessed One, what appears to the wise as the self-nature of reality is no more than the creation of their imagination, which is predicable with the notion of causation and no causation. That is, they also cherish in their own way the idea of a being with self-nature, and they would say that this is a realm that belongs to somebody else and is not that of the ignorant. This is committing the fault of non-finality, for thus what constitutes the self-nature of reality becomes impossible to know. Blessed One, what is derived from the imagination cannot be the self-nature of reality. How is it that while things are said to exist owing to the imagination or discrimination, they are said again not to be such as are imagined? Blessed One, it is true that according to the way the imagination is carried on, the self-nature of reality conceived may vary. For when the cause is not alike, the notion of reality that thus comes to be cherished may not be alike. But according to you, Blessed One, while the imagination is kept on going with the wise as well as with the ignorant, the latter alone fail to see reality as it is. And yet you tell us that the reason why it is said that things are not really such as are imagined by the imagination is to make all beings discard their imagination. Now, Blessed One, is it that in order to have all beings free from the notion of being, which is a realism, and of non-being, which is nihilism, you in turn make them cherish a realistic view of existence by telling them to uphold the idea of a self-nature of reality, whereby they are led to cling to the realm of noble wisdom? Why do you deny the truth of solitude by teaching the doctrine of reality whose self-nature is, according to you, noble wisdom? Said the Blessed One, Mahamati, it is not true that I deny truth of solitude, nor that I fall into a realistic view by upholding the noble doctrine of self-existing reality. But in order to save all beings from becoming frightened, who are addicted from beginningless past to the notion of self-nature, it is told them that there is truth of solitude, after making them realize by means of noble wisdom that reality in its self-nature is made the subject of attachment by the ignorant. Mahamate, The doctrine of self-nature is not taught by me, but Mahamati, those who have realized by themselves truth of solitude as it really is, and are abiding in it, will see that this existence of error has no form, and thereby knowing that what is seen as nothing but the mind itself, they are kept away from dualistically viewing an external world under the aspects of being and non-being. They are stamped well with the stamp of suchness, which is gained by the triple emancipation. They will have an intuition into the self-nature of all things by the wisdom which is acquired within themselves, and thus get away from such ideas of reality as to lead themselves to realism and nihilism.